Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new job. So we've started this job a wee bit earlier than I really wanted to, but the way things have gone on the other jobs, ferries over to Cologne and everything, we've kind of had to just make a start. This is phase one of a two-phase job. So first part is create a door opening in this wall into the garden. It's an elevated garden at the back. We're actually up on the first floor of the house here, as you can see, but the garden height at the back's up here somewhere, roughly. So we're going to create a door opening, and because of the height we need to make a bit of a dormer roof above the door. So that velux will be going. We'll get bridles and all that in, create the opening, create the door opening, and then we will be putting a partition wall alongside the door to make that a small box room, and there'll be a small staircase up to the door from here to allow access. Other thing we have to do is the hip and this roof on both sides, showing this bathroom. That hip requires strengthening, so we've got to screw a timber on the underside of that, so that means we probably are going to have to strip all that plasterboard off, and we're going to have to strip some plasterboard off in this bathroom, which we didn't really want to do, but we'll have to do something. So that is what we're going to attack here now. So you can see I've got the hip rafter exposed there up to the flat ceiling, but it does go up beyond, so I'll cut a wee slot here. I'm going to de-nail all this so we can get our, we have to glue and screw this 2x2 on right down to the bottom, all the way up to where it meets at the top. So while I'm doing the bathroom, Huge is just stripping out this room. Just taking off these finishings, so I might be able to reuse them in the existing older parts inside this new room. Get that radiator off, and then we'll probably pull this plasterboard off. Probably just have it the window, and then we'll probably just get all this plasterboard off the coombe, because we've got to work at this hip. That window's coming out, and there's an opening going to that, so I might take all that plasterboard off, might be easier. And then it's all prepped ready for when we finish the bathroom to get in here, start bridling out. So we just got this first bit of plasterboard off, and an old go at insulating. I don't think that 15mm polystyrene's doing much. Oof, that was lucky. Could have cut through that. Right guys, so we've got our 2x2 glued and screwed onto the hip. Minimal disruption in that room. This room's a lot easier. You can see there. That's just to reinforce that hip rafter a bit. Next, we're just trying to figure out where the bridle goes for our dormer opening. And to do that, I've done a wee bit of, maybe hard to see on the colour of the wall, but I've basically drawn out the dormer on this wall, put the angles on and found out where they intersect, which should be up on this line. But first we're going to rip we've got some, this rafters are 125 C24, so we're just going to get them ready, but we're not going to start that at this time of day, but tomorrow I think we're going to put the bridle in, put an extra rafter in, if we can do that from below. I'm just making a start while it's dry today, mostly. Stripping this slates out where the new dormer roof's going to go. That Velux is actually going to have to go as well, so I'm going to take the slates down to the eave, then we're going to peel the felt back over so we can use it in case it rains later, fold it back in, and then we'll probably cut the sarking out on the rafters that we're going to double up, get them rafters in while we can, and then get the bridle in after that. Hopefully that's the plan for today. Wee touch of blue sky there, so hopefully if it does rain it's just showers. Just as we stripped it, heavens have absolutely opened. What a place to work. Right guys, so the rain's giving us a hard time now. Put this paper in temporarily under the slates. I think what we're going to do in between this shower, we've pre-cut a rafter. So we're going to cut a slot up beside this rafter here where we're starting place. Cut a slot in the sock and get that in quickly, and then nail it up, then we can cover that back in for the now with the paper. And I'm just waiting on confirmation from the engineer because there's a wee spacing issue. I just want to check what he's happy with. So we'll get that one in now, get it covered back up, and then go from there. Yesterday would have been the day to have done this, but just the way it all worked out. So you can see we've got our double in here from wall plate up to the hip. We've got a double on that one up to the hip. So now I'm just going to put an extra one in here for where the Velux was. Strengthen that up, and then we will look at the position of our bridle. So we can try and get that in today while there's a bit of blue sky, believe it or not. It's not been like that most of the day. Get that in, get the sarcing we took off of here, we're going to use to patch in here, and then we can get some building paper on, cover the opening for today, tonight, and tomorrow we'll look at building our roof structure off of this wall. So I'll take structural screws, 1, 2, give me 4. Right, it's a wee bit of a brighter morning here guys, so we're going to get on with these dormer cheeks, build them in place, just try and get as much of a pitch as we can. We're aiming for 7 degrees minimum because we're putting profile roof sheets on, so we'll see how much we can get on that. And although it's blue skies now, I think the rain is coming, so we're going to try and crack on with that as quickly as we can. Gives you a longer timber. Just square cut that off. Right, maybe just grab my jacket in case it rains over tea from the saw. Oh. Right, rafters. Do the first one, $12.97. I get a square, and I get nail gun. Okay. Yeah. Let's just try it on the other side. And we can just take. Right guys, back up and running again. The storage SD card in the camera was full. More teething problems with this. I'm starting to wish I'd just stuck with the phone. Everything was a lot easier. So we've cut the blocks out of this opening. Got a bridle on up there. Hard to see from here. There it is. We've got a first cripple stud on the outside here, tying the dormer cheek to the wall. And we are just putting in some stud work here, putting in a wee bit of additional stud work here, so there's a wee bit of damage to this bricks. You can see our fire stop in there, just closing that cavity. DPC on it. It also helps like compression of the two walls, the belly in the way. There is ties between the courses to stop them going out the way. So I think we're doing everything we're meant to be doing here. Now we're going to fill in these studs, and then I can cut the outside of the blocks down for the door opening, and we can finish the lintels above that. Right guys, we have got the studs in required, cripples in for catching the lintel up top, which we haven't put in yet. We're going to do them from the outside when we break through, but that's alright now. So we're just putting this partition wall in because it's not load bearing, but it does just help to bind everything together. It's on that double rafter. This one's on a brick wall, so I think it's just good to have as much strength as possible before you start opening up full walls. Right, that's the block work all cut out. Down to our level. Just going to finish framing in round the door, and then we're going to get the door in. That's the door in. The rain's absolutely belting it down, so we're going to jump back inside and finish the partitions. Right guys, confession time unfortunately. So this door is wrong. When you were carrying it down it was wrong. So it opens in the way and it's meant to open out the way, which is a bit of a sickener. The reason it can't open in the way is because it'll be opening in onto steps. I don't know if you can see that drawn there. So it's meant, what's happened is originally the door was going to be right down at ground level here. It would open in the way, but we realised how much groundworks would be involved to excavate the garden down to that, so it got raised up with a dormer design, and then the door had to be opened out the way, and I've sent the old spec sheets to the new one to Nordan. So that's a sore one for me to take, but I seem to do this once a year. It's an expensive hobby. But despite the door problem, we are now going to carry on insulating these slope ceilings and then get them strapped out ready for plasterboard. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Cheers for now.